All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching the Good Gossip Podcast. We don't like it when people have a bunch of commercials up front. We just want to get right to the good stuff. So let's get right to the good stuff. I'm Todd Revis.
I'm Melissa Elizondo.
All right, and you're listening to the Good Gossip Podcast, and we have an amazing guest today, somebody that have had on our radar for a while. And I want to just tell you a little bit about him. His name is Eddy Luna. He's pretty popular where we're from for not so much of a good reason. But he is almost 30 years as a sheriff's deputy in Comal County. He's in the warrants division for the last decade or so, or a little over. That's all he does is serve warrants, which is not fun. Probably pretty scary stuff. He was involved in an incident on August 20th of 2020, and he was serving a felony warrant, and some knucklehead decided to get brave and pulled a gun and shot Deputy Luna. And so from there became this journey of survival and journey of overcoming major obstacles. So please welcome Eddy Luna. All right.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. You were recommended to me. Obviously, we knew who you were because we have social media.
Yes.
It was all over the news and everything for the whole South Texas area, really. But one of my good friends, Suzanne Brown, who's our number one fan,
Our
right?
number one fan.
I love
yes.
Suzanne.
She always says, yeah. So part of the duties of a sheriff's deputy or a police officer is doing security for private companies, things like that, on your off days. And so at Ernesto's Jewelry, maybe they should sponsor our show.
Oh.
Ernesto's Jewelry is a local, really awesome jewelry store. My friend Suzanne works there, and you're one of her favorite guys that has their back and protects them with all that millions of dollars worth of diamonds and gold, so nobody come in there and get crazy. And so obviously you're standing around, and y'all get to visit
Yes.
and become friends. And so she said, y'all have to have Eddy on there. He's so great. And so that's why we invited you. We wanted to hear your story. And hopefully it'll inspire somebody who's recovering from something or going through something. So what can you tell us about August 20th of 2020?
And know that we have listeners in 7 countries, so they have no idea who you are. So much
That's
information as you
Yeah,
can tell us.
you're not
about
at
it.
you're not at the local paper. So yeah, there are people that are like, who's this guy? So tell us like from a fresh perspective.
Okay, again, my name is Eddy Luna. I work at the Sheriff's Office here in New Braunfels, Comal County. I've been here since 1991. I was a young 23-year-old officer, and now I'm gonna be 53 here next month. But so I've been with the Sheriff's Office for a little bit over 29 years, and I've been in the warrants division, which is a division that serves felony arrest warrants, even misdemeanor warrants. It's not always just felony warrants. It could be anything from a ticket to a capital offense, which could be murder, sexual assault, whatever. And on this particular day, it was a regular day, just like anything. We have a warrant list that we go off of, and we had a warrant for an individual in Spring Branch, Texas, which is one of our Comal County areas. Mm-hmm. Nothing different. The man was wanted for evading arrest, of all things.
Nothing
He
violent,
got into a
really.
high-speed chase in 2018.
Okay.
Had never been arrested before, nothing like that. Just got into a high-speed chase and ended up getting arrested and ended up being charged with evading arrest of the vehicle, which is a felony in Texas. And so he made bond, got out, and I guess a couple of months he was supposed to go to court.
Failed to
go to court.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, when you don't go to court in Texas, actually in any state, you get another warrant for failure to appear or whatever, and or a violation of a bond, whatever it is that you signed when you got out of jail.
Sure.
So he was charged again, and so that's how myself and my partner Nick Nolte got involved. Now on this particular day, we had already been out to his house before for this same warrant. And
Oh, really?
Yes, so this would have been our 3rd time going out there, and both
He just
times,
wasn't home,
He
or-
just we're pretty
Or
sure
he was hiding?
we're pretty sure he was home, but the indications on the 2nd time that we were out there was that he took off on us right before we got there.
Oh,
I mean, everything from he was just here, the dogs are barking, the door is
Gotcha.
partially. Everything said
Coffee's
that,
still warm on the front porch.
So everything said that we just missed them.
Okay.
So I thought, you know what, on this third time, let's go ahead and put a team together. Let's try to sneak up on this house. Some go left, some go right, and whatever. And so the plan was, two guys, take one position, and I was to take the entrance position, which would have been a driveway. And the plan was, once somebody sees them, let's just move in fast, and hopefully we can catch him outside without him running off.
If he tries to run out the back, they're ready
Exactly.
for him. I've seen that on TV.
Exactly, and
only.
it happens all the time.
Yeah, of
So
course.
my thought that day was not that he was capable of doing something or just wasn't threatening or nothing like that. I thought he would maybe run again. So I said, let's take some more people. That particular day, it was busy. Patrol division was pretty busy doing their thing. And so I thought, let's take more than two guys, which is more than just me and my partner. So nobody was available. Everybody just had something going on that day, which we didn't have to take somebody. I just wanted to take somebody else, just in case. So I said, no, you know what, let's just go out there. Nobody's available. So it wouldn't be the first time that, we lost somebody or got into something.
It's not the end of the world if he runs out in the woods and you just go get him again.
So we're on our way from New Braunfels, and in Bulverde, I don't know if you're familiar with Bulverde, but we're up at 281 and 46. And I look left right there, because we're at the stop sign. So Nick's my young partner, so he's my driver. I just sit on the passenger side. I'm the old guy, so he drives. And so I look to the left, and there's my brother at the stoplight with us.
He's also a deputy.
Yes, and he works in the civil division, so he does like civil papers, like subpoenas.
Oh, okay. Serving
tax
divorce papers, things like that.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sort of stuff. So he doesn't normally get into anything at all, but it's a good gig to have where you're just serving papers, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So anyway, this particular day, he's right next to me, and so I call him on the phone and ask, hey, where are you going? And he said, I got to go up, to serve some papers, and it was pretty much in the area that we were going to go. And I was like, hey, when you're done, are you interested? I want somebody else to go on a warrant with us. And he goes, hell yeah, I'll go.
Hell yeah, man, let's do this.
Let's go do it.
He gets some
I'm
adrenaline.
ready to go. So before we got there, we stopped just shy of the residence and kind of formulated a plan. I showed him the picture, what he was wanted for, and where I thought he might run off to, because that's what seems like happened the first time.
Right.
And or the second time rather. So so I had Nick and my partner, or Nick and my brother Renee, go up the side of the house, which was kind of in a little valley. So nobody could see them unless you're actually looking down. So I said, once you get in position, this guy, he's kind of an outsider, so it seems like he will spend a lot of time outside. He doesn't seem like he'll spend a lot of time indoors. Big lot, just a bunch of stuff going on this property. And I said, once you get in position, I'm gonna go up the driveway. And so we wanted to do kind of what we call a pincer movement in the military, where we come in from two different directions and just hit the house and hopefully catch them outside. And that would be the best case scenario, catch them outside. And so they radioed me and told me, hey, we're in position right below the house. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go up the driveway. So I start sneaking up this driveway, which is kind of long.
Are you on foot at this point?
I'm on foot. We're all on foot. And so we're coming in pretty stealth, real quiet, no radio silence, nothing going on. When we talk, we were whispering, and when we were too close, we weren't talking at all. So as I start moving in, I saw him. I'm like, oh, there he is. There's a dog. Well, the dog alerted fast. So as soon as the dog saw me, and I came in quietly. It's just the dogs
have better ears.
It's like a German Shepherd. These dogs are genetically
Sure.
designed to be that way. He started barking, gave the position, and my guess is as soon as he didn't see me, but he was looking around, so right away he was alerted, like something's here. I'm not too sure what it is.
Yeah.
So right when I said go, let's go, he ran into the house. And
He went in.
Even though we were like 20 feet away, he ran inside the house, slammed the door shut, and so we're outside like, wow, damn it, you lost him again. We were this close. And the only difference is, we knew he was there. So
Yeah, now you at least
right
know.
away, we took positions to where, hey, let's everybody take a corner just in case he takes off, and we're knocking. And what we technically could have done is just follow them in, just crash that door in and go get them. And
A lot changes though
Yes,
if you do that,
so,
right?
Yeah, well, as far as, our ability to do something like that, we've done it before. Somebody runs off but this guy was like, I said, you know what, I thought we could talk him out.
Yeah.
Let's just
You
talk
just
him
had a
out. Wouldn't be the
sense.
first time. Let's just talk him out of the house. Nobody gets hurt, and he doesn't get a new charge, because, technically now that he ran, he picks up another charge. So
Yeah.
let's just talk him out. And so we established, a rapport with him, start talking with him.
So he was
And
talking
he
back
was talking
to you?
back to us.
Okay.
And I told him, look, come out, we're gonna go, we're not leaving without you. So one way or the other, you need to come out. And he's like, I'm not coming out, you're not arresting me. I don't believe, in Texas courts. And, basically he's just one of these guys that he's just like, what he doesn't believe in authority, my guess is that's what was going on. So, and everybody, we're all around the house. And what we usually do when we're around the house is everybody will bang on the door or
make
window.
it
And just
uncomfortable
because,
for him.
everything becomes uncomfortable because you never know. I mean, I would be uncomfortable if somebody's outside my house banging from any door.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, you have to just say, I'm coming. or
Yeah, this is driving me
and
crazy.
it is.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do, and, it's not, an all out, bruiser, Brody, bang on the door. We're just banging. Just, hey, we're here. You can't go this way. You can't go that way. And you can't go this way because, we got
They
you
start
surrounded.
feeling kind of
And
surrounded.
everybody's talking. All three of us are talking like, hey.
So that's a tactic?
That's a tactic.
Okay,
And it
wow.
works. It absolutely works because nobody, when somebody comes in hot, and I say hot, guns in hand, get down, people get thrown on the floor, whatever. Nobody wants that. I don't care how bad you are. Nobody wants that. It's just bad. And then, of course, the threat of also getting shot. Not necessarily us, but, nobody wants to get shot either inside the house. And I don't care how bad you are, and you don't want to get shot. And so, now, having that in mind, it's perfect to have him come out. And I absolutely thought he was going to come out. After a while, where he said, look, everything that we said was going to happen was going to happen. So having that knowledge, dude, just come out. Nobody gets hurt. It's very simple. So we waited, I'm guessing 35, 45 minutes just talking to him and just talking. I was like, God, this guy's not going to come out. It just doesn't seem that way. So we called up the supervisor and let him know what was going on. And, basically it was, just get him. Okay. So anyway, me and my partner, Nick, this house is not a regular house. This house is something that he hand built. I mean, it's got rocks and bricks and the door looks like to some kind of old school, 18th century door. It's just really thick wood. Mm-hmm. And it's got a mirror right in the front. So we don't know if this mirror is a two-way or what it is, it's just, everything is weird about this house. It's not, a regular house that we think as a regular house.
So you're having trouble picturing what's on the other side of that door.
We have a front door, we got a side door, we have another door in the back, and then we have an upstairs that's just all completely open. So, and we could see that there's like a ladder where he can actually shoot up there and take off and just run on his roof and end up being gone again. So there's a bunch of different, so we had to kind of watch everything and make sure he didn't take off on us.
Yeah.
So finally the decision was made, okay, let's breach the door. So myself and Nick were the breachers. Breachers meaning we're the ones, the entry team. And I told my brother, hey, you hang out over here, just,
if he runs.
Watch, listen in case you hear something going on. If he jumps on the roof, you can hear it because it's tin. So, I was just, let's just warm what we can to make sure we actually get him. So me and myself and Nick were making, pushing on the door. Just, we need to breach the door, and it was not budging at all. So, I mean, I don't know what he locked it with or what he did, but Nick, kind of a little powerful, short guy, a little muscle-bound guy. And so he started just, wailing on the door, just, pushing it until it gave. And it gave like almost unexpectedly, like it just
like somebody
it
moved
just
something.
shot open. And as soon as the door opened, Nick wasn't in a position because he's kind of like, whoa, the door's open.
Right.
And I'm left of Nick. And as soon as the door completely opened, it seemed like it was in slow motion. I mean, it's just strange that it was in slow motion. And I heard Nick was on my right side. So he said something, he said gun. And so right away, I'm ready. As soon as the door fully is open and I see him, and this is a split second. He's not aiming or nothing. He's just kind of standing there. And I saw with a shotgun. I mean, I know my guns. I'm a gun guy. He's standing there with a shotgun. And after that, the only thing I remember is I saw a flame come out of that gun. I didn't hear it. We were inside. I mean, this is, if you hear a shotgun inside of a house, you will hear it. But, I think your body does certain things to kind of, not
protect you.
Yes, to protect you, and I saw the shot. And next thing I remember was super fast. I was on the ground, almost outside of the door. Nick had already taken up a defensive position because he was the first one to see. And he wasn't armed. I was armed. What I mean by armed is I came in gun in hand.
You had it out. His was still holstered because he was working on that door. He was still
forcing his way in. And after that, next thing I remember is trying to get up. And because I was laying kind of on my stomach, I tried getting up, and I was like, what the hell? I couldn't get up. And I realized that my right arm, was pretty much severed right there. I looked down, and my hand was kind of sitting there like, crap, that's the first thing I thought of.
Right here? Roughly here?
Right 2 inches below the elbow.
Okay.
I had a piece of what they call just a piece of skin and a tendon. That was it. That was
so
holding
this
on.
was
Everything was completely
separate.
gone. I took a direct shot from about 5 feet away, and the worst weapon to get shot with at that distance is a shotgun because it
spreading
spreads.
out.
It spreads. It comes out of the barrel, at 1 inch, and it spreads up to about 3 or 4 or 5 inches.
About the size of your arm.
Yeah, about the size of my forearm, and completely demolished my forearm. And so I knew I had to act quick. So I grabbed my hand. I think of these military movies and stuff, and they say, hey, if you lose something, your leg, your arm, your finger, grab it. Try to keep it clean, and
who knows?
Maybe you can get it reattached or whatever. And
so you thought in that moment?
I thought in that moment, I said, there's my hand. I need to pick it up. Grabbed my hand, and I pushed myself up because I could feel myself just bleeding. I could just see blood everywhere. I remember just seeing the blood on the ground. And this is very fast. I'm not too sure what the guy's even doing behind me.
So you're facing away from the house at this point?
I'm facing away from the house.
And Nick is taking a defensive position.
Nick had already taken a defensive position, which is really, really quick. And he didn't even know I got shot. He heard the shot, and I guess maybe he assumed I fell. I fell. I got shot on the door. That's the reason I fell. And,
so did it spin you around, I guess?
Yes, it spun me around.
That makes sense. I can picture that now.
Yeah, so when I got hit, I just kind of turned back around, and when I fell, I guess I feel, as you're falling, you take a position to where, okay, you put your hands down, and that's how I fell. And so I grabbed my hand, and Nick had already taken off, and I could hear him yelling for me. And I ran around the corner where Renee was, and I told Renee, hey, follow me. And because we had already been at this house, I knew where to go. There was a hill up on the side, and I said, I need to get out of this position because, I'm not too sure what this guy is doing. And Nick's in a position, and Renee is the cover guy, so I took him with me. I said, follow me. And I know he's kind of looking at me like, where are we going? I mean, I just heard the shot, and you're running. Why are you running? But he's behind me, so he hasn't seen anything yet. And so I ran up a hill, and I probably about 25, 30 feet above away from the residence, but a good, what I would call a safe zone because you could see the house. And there was a big rock out there. I sat on the rock, and I had my arm, and by this time Renee looked at me, and he had this, if somebody could go, like completely white, he did. And
you're his big brother.
And yes, I'm the big brother. And now he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And I told him, I said, Renee, I said, I need you right now. I need for you to take a deep breath. I need for you to get on the radio, tell dispatch what happened. And then after that, I need for you to get your tourniquet out because we all have tourniquets on our belts, and I need for you to get it on my arm ASAP. And so he got on the radio, and I could hear him, and I don't know, I think everybody's kind of heard the radio call, it was pretty intense. He's right in front of me when he's talking, so we get alert tones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So by this time, everybody's getting alerted. I'm talking about
they're dropping everything.
Everything is going on, and I remember just sitting there, and I'm trying. I think, okay, I know I can't. I have my breathing. I need to control. I I don't want to go into shock. So I'm thinking about all these things. I said,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of
In
course.
that moment, did you feel pain?
I didn't. I felt something because it was completely numb.
Okay.
And I would look down every once in a while and just like, God darn it, I can't believe this happened. I'm looking down and I got my hand in my hand and my whole arm is hurting. And I didn't really know why it was hurting on top. It was because I had my uniform on and the sleeves are kind of low. But I knew everything at the bottom was hurting, but it wasn't hurting to the point to where
Not like you would think it would be.
It was just an intense numb feeling, and that's what I felt. And I remember I had my hand, and I was like, God, and I was trying to squeeze it and trying to see if I could move it. I couldn't move it, and this is just the moments that I'm sitting there, and I think I'm getting more mad than anything because of what happened. Not scared, and I should have been scared.
You were trying to help this
I
guy.
was, yes. And so I told Renee what to do, and he put a tourniquet on me. And what was crazy is, we're taught to, put the tourniquet just above the wound. So I had a little bit of skin there.
Couple inches.
Yes. So the blood was just popping, oozing out, fast. And I could feel myself getting cold, but yet I'm still sitting there just trying to, okay, let me just calm down. I'm just going to not breathe real hard. I'm not going to yell. I didn't even talk on the radio because I thought that's just going to expend more of my energy. So I'm just going to sit here and let Renee do everything. And so anyway, so he put a tourniquet right about 2 inches above my elbow.
Okay.
And he cranked down on that. And that is the first time that I felt this intense pain. And I was like, I don't know what had happened. Something, I said, wow. So I said, stop. Because, when you crank on a tourniquet, you crank it down to where you're stopping the blood. And basically anything below that,
Yeah.
if you don't get it medical treatment fast, you're going to lose it. That's just the way it is. I said, stop. I said, undo it. I said, move it up. And that's not what we're taught to do. Once you put a tourniquet on, you pretty much leave it there. And so I made the decision. I said, take it off. And I said, move it up here. And he did. He moved it way up to the top. He cranked it down. And I'm telling you, as much as that hurt, that felt great. Like, God, this
Compared
feels
to
good.
closer.
So I didn't know what had happened
Wonder
there.
why.
But he moved it all the way up. And the blood, when we now had the blood in control, was just dripping. There was just small drip. And so I felt good about that. And I told him, we need to get out of here. We need to go to the street. By this time, I could hear sirens and the radio just blaring and blaring. And so I knew everything was happening in the background. And so I felt pretty good about that. But it still seemed like, God, we're taking a long time to get to the street, A couple of them. We're walking in a wood line. So that didn't help us any because I was holding on to my hand. And we're walking in where there's big rocks and boulders and just a wood line. That's Spring Branch, Texas is kind of a wooded area.
Hill country.
Yeah, hill country. And we fell a couple of times. I remember falling, and I couldn't break my fall. And Renee, when I would fall, he made sure I fell on top of him, which is he knew I couldn't break my fall, and I fell on top of him a lot of times, and which was he knew how I was gonna fall, and we finally made it to a street, kind of went through a fence. And I sat there. There was like a driveway, and I remember sitting there. And I could hear all the sirens. Now I can clearly hear the sirens. I'm at the street, and then I'm thinking, "Where's the ambulance at?"
Yeah.
Because they should have already been here. And of course, the ambulance will not move up until the scene is secured. That's just the way it is, And even though it was a police officer, it didn't make a difference. They have things that they got to go by, rules that we got to stationary. We have to stay stationary away from the scene, and we cannot move up until somebody says scene is secure, suspect is in custody, whatever. Something has to happen. And because nobody had been arrested yet, they couldn't move in. So I'm sitting there, and now I'm starting to feel some pain. I think the reality of what had just happened is now kind of setting in. And so Renee's talking to me, and he's got his hand on my shoulder. And me and Renee were close, very close. We grew up together. And but we're not close like that. We're not close like hugging and whatever. It's just not like that. And and I could just feel him. He's touching me. Said, "Hey, we're not done yet. You're good. You're okay." And I was like, "I'm good. I'm okay." And I remember thinking, this is bad. But I thought, God, I'm not ready to die. This is not where I'm gonna die here. So I think a will to want to continue living and know that you have a shot because you're already looking and you're seeing what's going on. I said, I think I'm good. And I think a will to survive and not want to die is kind of what carried me on. So the whole time I just sat there and, maintained my breathing, didn't freak out. Everything I talked, Renee, everything was real slow, just almost a whisper talking to him. And finally, one of the supervisors of patrol made a decision. I need to just move up and get him. And because the ambulance was not moving up. And what
To
we're
bring you
talking,
back to
yes,
the ambulance.
to bring me to the ambulance. And we're probably talking 2 or 3 minutes, what felt like 15 or 20 minutes for me, because I'm sitting there thinking, God, I need somebody to, wrap this thing up and, put my arm back on. This is what I'm thinking. And so I got up, they asked me, can you get up? I'm like, hell yes, I'm ready, let's go. So I got in the patrol car and just kind of laid there, and I just remember looking down like, man, I got blood all over the patrol car. And you think about these things because I guess you're trying to just, I guess as for me, I like to be humorous. I'm always joking about certain things. And I was thinking, damn, I just got his car all dirty, kind of like his, And I started thinking about these things, and I'm quiet. So we just go up maybe 500 yards up the street and find the ambulance, and he parks right behind the ambulance. And so I get out of his patrol car, and we go up to the ambulance back door, and I remember he knocks on it, and they open up the door like, kind of, what do you want? And I'm standing there, I got my hand
So they
in
didn't know you were
in my
coming.
hand, and they're looking at me like, oh crap, he's here. I'm like, yes, I'm here. And so
You wouldn't come to me, so I
right
came
away
to
they
you.
opened up the doors. They brought the they didn't even bring the bed out. They opened up the doors and they all pushed me up on top. And I was still able to move.
Yeah.
I was I would consider myself being in good condition, even though I was hurting really, really bad.
Yeah.
So they laid me on the bed, and I remember thinking, okay, they're about to take everything off on me. And I had just received a new vest. We get issued vests every couple of years, and I had just put on this vest, pretty nice vest, and it's Velcro. So right away, I can feel them cutting my pants.
No.
And I was like, hey, I said, my vest has got Velcro. Right about that time, it went straight down. I was like,
And that's what you're sitting there thinking
I'm thinking
about.
about these things, and I had just bought some Oakley combat boots. I said, don't cut the shoelaces. I said, I just bought them. And I don't think they did.
That's hilarious.
But they were full of blood. So I thought, man.
The things you think about.
Yes, and it was crazy. I was thinking about these things. I didn't, I'm looking at my bloody boots, and, I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. So I remember thinking, I didn't want to die with my boots on. But I remember the song, because they have a song that's titled that way. And I was like, well, if I do, at least I have my boots on. But I'm thinking about these crazy things, just going on. And so anyway, they finally get me, and then they cut everything off. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I ended up with nothing. And so one of the guys is straddling my chest, and he tells me to let go of my hand. I could not let go of my hand. I physically could not open my fingers. And I don't know why. I thought maybe I'm never going to see my hand again. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I can't do it. So I just remember somebody bending my fingers out. And finally, my hand breaks free, and then they wrapped up what was left of my arm in some cast or something or another. So right away, I feel them put something in my neck. I lost so much blood, I ended up with, I think, 2 milliliters of blood. Right, they had to put in my neck right then and there, and that was fast. So that goes to show that how much blood they knew I'd already lost.
Sure.
So they wrapped it up. And it seems like everything is really going slow, and it's not. It's probably going pretty fast. And they said, okay, we're going to head somewhere to go. There's a helicopter waiting. So we took a little ride, and then I remember the guys, good medical people, just talking and telling me, hey, you're fine, you're going to be okay, we got your temperature's good, you're coherent.
That's
all
good.
the things that I need to hear, I'm hearing these things. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. And they told me just, relax. And I was thinking, I don't want to relax. And, I don't want to close my eyes. I think I was more afraid of closing my eyes and never waking up. I think that's what I was kind of afraid of. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stay awake. I'm going to stay awake the whole time. And so I went.
You always hear that, like, don't go to sleep.
Because
don't go to sleep.
I felt safe, but I didn't feel totally safe, So I was like, okay, I need to get to the next medical level until I feel safe. I think is what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So we get to the helicopter, and right away they take me out of that the ambulance. They put me in the helicopter, and I'm a big helicopter guy, and I just remember thinking, God, I can't even see the helicopter. I don't know what they had on my face, but I couldn't even see it. And I just remember laying there and looking at the helicopter propeller. That's all I'm looking at, like, wow, there's a propeller, and I can't even look left or right because I don't know what they got on my neck. I could not move. And so I get to University Hospital where they transported me to. And it seemed like it was a long ride because by this time, now I'm starting to feel pain. I'm starting to feel these things. I'm like, man, now I'm starting to hurt more than it did even at the scene. And so we get to finally land there, and it's just like on TV. You know, they pull me out of this thing. They've got like 6 or 7 nurses, you know, pushing me down this runway, a hallway. And all I remember is, you know, just like on TV, you see like these lights going by, right? Lights going by, and everybody's talking to me. And even one of my supervisors was there, which was pretty cool. So he knew where I was going, so he was already there. It was good for me to hear him. I think I gave him a thumbs up just when I saw him, and just to let him know, hey, look, I'm alive, I'm good. You know, I'm not too sure what's going on here, but you know, I can see you and you can see me, and I gave him a thumbs up. And not until I went to the operating room, I remember they slid me on this bed, and again, I just think of TV. I see all these lights. You know, I remember there's 3 lights just looking right at me, super bright. And the doctor came in and he said, hey, we're going to do surgery on you. We're going to put you to sleep. And they're just telling me a couple of things. He asked me a couple of questions about my name and so on. And that was the first time that I thought, okay, I'm okay. I feel safe. These guys, I'm on this, you know, bed here, and I see nothing but medical stuff around me. I think I'm good. And so, yeah, they put me out, I guess, about 2:30 Thursday, and I woke up Saturday night.
Whoa.
So I had, I believe, 4 surgeries in between that time, but I had no idea I had those 4 surgeries.
Wow.
Because they probably kept you.
They ended up taking an 8-inch vein and tendon out of my leg, which I didn't even know, but they did. And so that hurt. I was wondering why my leg hurt so much when I woke up. What they did is they hooked up that vein to get blood to my hand.
To try to save the hand?
They tried to save it. So that's what was going on. So when I woke up, this, like I said, I woke up 2.5 days later, and I woke up in this room, and I see my wife, I see a couple of my deputy friends, and my kids are there too, and I'm looking at them, and I tried talking. Of course, I can't talk. I still have that trach. And I'm like sitting there like, why can't I talk? I had no idea. And then I tried moving my hands. So technically, they had me handcuffed to the bed because they knew the first thing you do when you wake up is you yank these things out of your mouth.
Wow.
So I could not move this hand. I surely couldn't move this hand because I could see it up in the air. And the nurse is trying to calm me down, like, hey, you know, you have a trach. You know, we'll take it out in just a little bit. And I'm looking at my family, and by this time I got tears in my eyes, like, okay, I'm alive, which is good. And of course, everybody's crying. I can see just everybody, you know, it's a very sad moment, I guess, looking at everybody. But I'm trying to tell everybody, like, hey,
I'm good.
You know, I'm good. You know, I'm trying to give everybody a thumbs up and try to acknowledge everybody that I'm seeing. And the nurse told me, can you write on a board, you know, if you need something? And I was like,
you right-handed?
I was trying to, and I was right-handed. So now they want me to write, and I'm thinking, wow, I can't even, I could barely write with my right hand really good. And here I am, they want me to write on my left. So they give me this board and this magic marker or something, and I'm writing, and I said water. I think I put on there water because I was super thirsty. And then I thought it was just because my throat was dry. It was actually still because that thing was in my throat. And then they're like, no water. Oh, no. And then I was like pointing, like trying to tell them, get this thing out of my mouth. And then they're like, well, of course, we can't do that either. So I'm like frustrated, like, God, I want to talk, I want to say something, but I can't say nothing because this thing is in my throat and it hurts. Now I'm starting to feel all these, I guess the pain medication is everything is kind of going down. So I'm feeling everything now. And the nurse is like, just trying to calm me down and say, hey, I'm going to see if I can get an order to take it down. So I'm like, I try to calm down, like, okay. And it was probably another 2 or 3 hours where I was actually using that board and telling everybody, you know, just little thing, whatever I could write. And it was horrible. I should have kept that board, you know. But I just say, you know, hi, okay, and just saying whatever, just little words, little letters. And finally they came in and they got the order to take that thing out of my throat. And I had no idea. That thing is about 8 inches long. It literally is in your chest somewhere. And so they pulled it out and cut it. I mean, to talk about a feeling that makes you feel good, that was like the greatest feeling. Like, God, I could barely talk. Now I could just whisper
you're all
because my
rough
throat was
and-
sore. And apparently that thing had been in my throat for all the surgeries. And that's the reason they do that, I guess, because they kind of
Help you
put you like in a
breathe
coma, and so you're out. So
Yeah.
all your surgeries are when you're out. And so the doctor comes in and starts, telling me, hey, what happened? And, he's telling me, hey, we're trying to get some blood flow to your hand. And then I'm looking like, wow, I see my hand there. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. And at this time, they start slowly giving me water, like with a straw. The worst thing, I was like, and I could see a cup of water. I was like, give me that cup of water over there. And, but no, they couldn't do that, I guess, because you can't.
They want you to choke.
Everything has to be very slow.
Yeah.
So they start giving me everything slow, and I start coming to pretty good. I start like acknowledging everybody, and my voice is coming around. And they start telling me, hey, you're gonna be in ICU for the next couple of days because we're not done. There's still a lot going on. What I found out is they almost had to amputate my whole arm because up here, 2 of the rounds went through my humerus and shattered about 2 inches of bone. So I had nothing there. And so when Renee tried to put my tourniquet on,
That's why it hurts so
it
bad.
hurt so much because he put the tourniquet on a broken bone. So I was thinking, wow, that's why. And I knew it was something horrible because, it felt worse than, my arm that was missing. And so that explained that. And but I was glad that they told me, they brought in a team of surgeons to try to say, where can we save? So when they told me we got a plate from here to here, super large plate, top and bottom. So basically they just made my humerus just to keep my arm intact. They rebuilt my elbow, and then I have 2 inches of bone, which isn't much to go on. But
Is the skin wrapped around it?
yes, that's what happened. So I had a lot of skin that was still kind of flapped over. I spent 26 days in the hospital. They came in after about the 5th surgery, I believe. They told me, your hand is not really taking. I was able to move 2 fingers, which was impressive for me. I was able to move 2 fingers. And I'm not talking moving like this. I'm talking just
barely, though.
barely
But they were
moving.
talking.
And so the doctor, surgeon, lead guy there, supposedly one of the best in the country, told me, hey, we have a chance to rebuild your forearm. So we'll take some muscle out of both of your thighs, and we can take bones out of your calves, not your calves, but the bones of your legs below the knee. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. And he gave me like a 50% chance that my hand would even work at that. So I was like, it was kind of an easy decision just to finish amputating my arm.
Really?
And I, as much as I thought, no way, I don't want to go on with that. I said, but look at the other way. I would spend 6 months in the hospital just with the therapy on my legs, because they literally had to cut bones and make bones that I had 0 forearm. It was like a perfect shot. I had no, from my hand to 2 inches below my elbow, there was nothing. It was just popped. It was just.
So you had to make a choice, and like you said, it was easy.
Yeah, I had to make that choice. And at that point, it was kind of easy. I thought, I didn't even want to be in the hospital. And that was 6 or 7 days right there. And I was like, I don't even want to be here no more. And so it was easy to make that choice. So again, we went through another surgery, and there wasn't much there. So when you say amputation,
wasn't really an amputation.
No, I already had an amputation.
They cleaned it up and sewed it up.
They cleaned it up and got blood flowing to it. So
the amputation happened on the 20th of August.
It did.
When he shot
you. And then they tried to put me together, which, in today's medicine, they almost can. And so that happened. And so again, and of course I ended up with a lot of infection points because it was a shotgun that I was shot with. And who knows, it could have been an old round or whatever, plus when I fell. So I ended up having 12 surgeries, just cleaning up, and wrapping up, cleaning up, wrapping up. And by this time I was just like, I was gone. I was seriously like in a terrible spot. Like, it was just too many surgeries, to have to go through all that and back to back. It was like every other day I was receiving a surgery, And they wanted to keep me in there for 6 weeks. And I was like, this was like about the third week. And I was like, what can I do? I need to leave. I want to just go home and tell me if I need to come back, I'll come back. I promise I'm coming back. I'm missing an arm. I just don't want to be in here no more. Everything. And I had my own room, super big room. My wife was in there the whole time, which was awesome because, you know, the little things the nurses couldn't do, you know, she picked up and she learned a lot of these little things that, you know, just by watching them.
That's cool.
And so if I needed something, she was always there if the nurses weren't fast enough. And they were never fast enough. You know, everything from going to the restroom to, you know, trying to eat or whatever, she was there for me. So she was absolutely, you know, my little hero, you know.
I was telling you off camera that I was like, oh, you're married. And because I said, I don't remember in all the social media news and reports about it, you know, in the pictures, it's always you and your brother, or you know, you and the sheriff. And I was like, I didn't even know you were married. And you're like, yeah, she's quiet.
She's very quiet, very shy. She doesn't want to be in any spotlight or anything. She's just that, you know, I call her my old school Mexican wife. You know, she's got a lot of old school traditions where,
she
you know,
sounds
they just
amazing.
kind of stand back.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
She sounds amazing.
And so every once in a while I sneak her into a photo or whatever, but for the most part, she just wanted to be somewhere and watch. And but, you know, during the hospital stay, you know, she was there for me the whole time. It was awesome. And wow, really cool. I mean, you know, my very last surgery was a skin graft because I didn't have a clean cut. So I ended up with a 4-inch block of skin taken off my thigh. Yeah, that was my very last surgery. So that wasn't cool at all either. So they had to put that on my forearm, and I had 3 spots where they had to kind of put skin graft on there.
Yeah.
So that was my last surgery, which was good. I'm glad that happened, and you know. Other than that, you know, I'm here. You know, people ask me, you know, hey, you know, about, you know, my recovery and my plans are, and I was like, I just want to recover, get myself better. You know, I'm in pretty intense rehab to try to get my elbow moving up.
So you
can
actually
I need
move
to
it.
be like this. And in rehab, when I first left the hospital, it was completely straight.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah,
yes.
you can move
so,
it.
Yeah, so now, you know, I've got a good,
Sure.
so I got a good bend. It needs to be like this to get my prosthetic completely done, but we're moving pretty good, so I'm glad.
Let me ask you about your brother. You said y'all didn't grow up real like huggy
Yes.
and all that, right?
Just tough guys.
And that's guys, right? And it's our culture, whatever. But has that changed at all since? Or is it back to...
Yes, you know, now we'll get together and he'll tell me something like, hey, don't be doing, like watching what I eat. I'm like, dude, just because you saved my life one time. And I tell him like this, you know. And
now you're my mom.
Raise your card.
Yeah, we're able to kind of bullshit like that. And it's fun, you know. My mom was a very religious lady, you know, more religious than, you know, she's from the 80s, we're from the 80s. Yeah. And you remember during that whole PTL deal, you know, all these mega churches. And she was very much involved in that stuff. And I rember churches just lasting hours.
She's sending her money in.
Yeah, we didn't even have money.
Televangelist.
She was giving whatever she had to it. And then you find out, you know, the other preachers are just as crooked as everybody else, or pastors, whatever they are. And so I was like, I told you, Mom, we didn't even have money. You're giving away that.
Yeah, now they're going to jail because they're robbing from people like you.
But of course, her heart is the right place. You know,
Sure.
You know, a lot of times you just put it in.
She wanted to be blessed. She wanted you
Mm-hmm.
all to be blessed.
She did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the case with that.
So what's everyday like now? Like what's different?
Well, right now I'm not at work. I'm on medical leave. So I go to rehab 2 and 3 times a day. Not a day, a week, which is good. So that breaks up my work day. Would be my work day. I still got post-op at University Hospital once every 4 weeks. Okay. I got pain management.
Make sure it's healing right.
Yeah, because what it is because the nerves were shoved into the muscle. So there's like right now I have a standing, you know, between a 1 and 10, 4 to 5. It's just standing pain. It just stands there. Somebody said describe it. You ever shake hands with somebody and they just squeeze and squeeze and won't let go? That's what it feels like. And for me, I looked down like I don't even have a hand. I said, why does my hand hurt so much? Well, they call that phantom pain.
Phantom. So it hurts your hand?
Absolutely, it hurts my hand. Like a lot of my two. What hurts the most is these 2 fingers. And
on
it's
your
like,
right hand.
I can feel that, and I can
Have
feel.
you heard of that mirror therapy?
Yes, they tried that with me, and it did not. I could not get it. I was like, you're teaching me that my hand is there to teach me that it's not there, because it's not there. And I could not get that mirror thing. I got aggravated with that thing. I said, I don't want to do this thing no more. And we didn't. So now I've just gotten better myself.
You ask a question like, what does your life after kind of feel like? I heard somewhere, and I don't remember if it was you that told me or someone, that you plan to be a police officer again. You don't plan to ride a desk. You don't plan to whatever. You plan to serve warrants, whatever that means. So how is that possible in today's world? If you have they're going to give you a prosthetic hand, forearm and hand, and you're going to be able to pull a gun out. You're going to.
Well, now I'm technically left-handed. So everything that I learned was good at with my right, I'm left-handed now. So now I'll be a left-handed shooter, left-handed cuffer, whatever. I'm getting a myoelectric arm. That's a bionic hand.
Whoa.
So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm in. Yes.
You'll be able to move it.
Yeah, you'll be able to. It'll be a fully functioning robotic hand.
Do you have to just train again?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not just like a plug and play. It's a plug
you're gonna have to
and train.
It's like you're going to go to basic training or whatever again.
That's
like
correct.
you're going to go to officers shooting school, and then you'll
correct.
have to
So
test.
I'll never learn to shoot with that hand because it's electric. So you never want to trust the trigger.
Battery's dead. Dang it.
Exactly. So, but it'll be an excellent support hand.
Amen.
Which
Like for loading?
Yes. And you can do just about anything with this hand. It's not, people think of bionic like you can, break glass or whatever. It's not like that. It is strong. You can probably crush an aluminum can, but probably nothing more than that.
It'd be better if you could be a professional wrestler,
Right.
And they could call you Bionic Man, the Claw. Remember Von Erichs?
Yes,
They
exactly.
do the claw.
That is exactly
We're about
right.
the same age, and we watched wrestling when we were little.
I did too. My grandpa.
Yeah. So hopefully in the next, the arm is already in
They're producing it.
in fabrication.
Yeah.
How long does that take?
So it's hopefully next week they'll get the and what they do is they
heard
design
it
the
here
forearm.
first.
Yeah, the hand is already here. So
Okay.
what they design is the forearm. The forearm would be like a carbon fiber, something with batteries in it, a switch for the battery.
Very cool.
And it's already fit to my
Okay,
with
so
my
that's
stomach.
ready to roll.
Yes.
So when this releases, we deal with time travel here. So this is going to release. That's why we don't tell the date or anything, because it could be 3 weeks from now. So by the time this releases, you may already
I
be
may have it.
having it. So
Well, yeah, of course I have to go. It's
training
for
and stuff,
training. Yes.
yeah. But it'll be kind of cool for our audience to hear this, and then we'll link you and all that to it, and you can make comments.
Sure.
And because you're not afraid to be on social media. Some of your friends post stuff about you and stuff like that, so people can find you on social media and they can see how your progress
Yes.
is. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, okay, how many kids you got?
3.
3 kids. They grown?
Yes, my oldest, Daniel, he actually works. He's a deputy sheriff. He works with the sheriff's office. And I have twins, Oscar and Olivia. My twin boy works in the jail. He's not in the jail, he works in the jail. And my daughter's serving in the military. And she's currently stationed at Fort Hood.
I guess hero
Also
is
Army like you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Fort Hood. Yeah, I guess hero is like in your DNA, man. So I read a quote, and I'm going to mess it up because I didn't have it pulled up and I don't have my readers on. But I know that your son was quoted as saying that you were the first Luna
Yes.
to wear the badge, and that now all of the other Lunas that are wearing that badge proudly are doing it because of you.
That's
you
correct.
started that.
Yes,
And
that was
so
the
your
first one.
brother Renee Luna, Daniel Luna, and
Adam Luna's my
Adam
other brother.
Luna,
He's my other brother.
yes.
He works. He's also a sheriff's deputy, and so all the boys are. And my sister, Krista, she works for CID, Narcotics Division. Here at Goodwin.
oh
so,
my gosh, that's
so-
so crazy. It's just a law enforcement
Yeah.
family.
all
Talk
my
about
parents'
legacy.
kids.
Yeah, legacy. And so how many grandkids?
I have 3 grandkids,
Wow.
and the oldest is 9, and then the other 2 are, one is 3 and one is 1.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
I have 5 grandkids about the same age, and so we'll have to see. Maybe they know each other. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know
they may.
It's a small town. We know a lot of
Oh,
people,
I know.
man. We know a lot of people the same. Man, that's really great. You have any more questions? I don't want to really talk about the incident anymore. The story is just
Yeah.
amazing. I really appreciate you being raw with us, and I didn't even ask you. I was gonna ask you, is anything off limits? But I forgot to ask you that.
No.
And so we just went, and I appreciate you. I mean, I got emotional. There was one point I was watching your eyes, and they got a little glossy. And I figured it's the allergies, you know. But I was like, yeah, my allergies are acting up too. Let's talk about something funny real
I'm
quick.
crying.
That's how guys
Only
get.
one.
You're crying. I'm not crying. But so I do want to thank you. I mean, everything everybody's told me about you is true. That you're raw, you're real. You love Iron Maiden. You're funny. First thing I said when I saw you was, "Dang, you working out? Like you're better shape than I am. I got 2 arms."
And that you have an attitude of overcome. I don't know if that's a word. Like what I've heard is that you just have a spirit about you that's going to move forward.
Yes.
You know, and I see that. I completely see
You take
that.
it on as a challenge.
And it is a challenge. Everything's a challenge now. Everything from tying my shoes.
How do you tie your
Yeah,
shoes?
Like I don't hear victim mentality.
No, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to display that because I don't. I think something horrible happened that day, but I'm alive, and knowing that, I'm gonna get myself all squared away in the way that I have to be, to keep moving forward. And
What happened to the guy?
he's in jail. Of course, he was charged with attempted capital murder, which is just so much higher than what the guy
What it
was
could have
wanted
been.
for.
I know.
And
But I don't think I think he might have some.
Yes,
mental
there was
illness.
other things, yeah.
There's mental
Oh, yeah.
illness going on there, and I don't want to glorify him at all. But I'm glad he was taken in. I'm glad that
Yes.
that he has a
Yeah,
chance.
he's sitting there and he will be there. I think his bond is 1.2 million or something like
So
that.
he hasn't even had a trial.
We it looks like because of this whole COVID deal, called criminal court is pretty much halted.
that's true.
Unfortunately,
Is that a state? Or
that some states are already doing them.
But is that no? I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry. My question is that going to be in the district state court? Like, is it the state
Yeah,
of
that'll
Texas
be
against him?
here in district court.
It's the state of Texas against him, or the county of Comal against him?
Yeah.
State.
Correct.
We know a state judge. Our first guest
Very
was
first
a state judge, Stephanie Bascon.
Yeah.
And so it'd be interesting to see who gets that trial. We'll keep an eye on that because
Yeah, August is what they're telling me.
Yeah,
August should be when the courts kind of open up, and I believe we
they're
are first on
backlogged
docket.
because they're
Yes.
starting to open up. Oh, they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
move you to the front
Yes,
of the line.
yeah, we should be first on docket, is what I hear. They wanted to get this case out of the way like almost in November and December, but because everything
Yeah.
happened during that time, they
Wanna
wanted
do
to
it
get
right.
it right
Wanna
there.
get it right.
And, yeah, so I mean it's pretty clear
Interesting.
case.
Weird question. When you think of him, what do you think?
My mom told me, I don't want you to have hate. I'm like, I don't have hate. I mean, I don't go to bed thinking about this guy. I said, if I saw him on the street, do I want to, body slam him? Sure I do. That's just natural. I got shot, but
Yeah.
do I think that, I need to do something terrible to this guy, I need to kill him? No, I don't. I don't dwell on nothing like that. I don't dream about what I want to do with this guy. It's done. It's over with. He's there. I'm here. I get to be with my family.
He doesn't deserve to rent
No,
space in your
he-
head.
no.
He doesn't deserve to
Nope.
ruin. He already ruined part of your
Yeah,
world.
It's enough. I think
He
about
doesn't
him
get to
every
do
time I see
anymore.
my arm.
Yeah.
But I don't think about him to the point to where I'm down in the dumps. Because I'm not.
Well, that could eat you alive too.
Yes, and they will. I'm they always say, my therapy to me is talking. I talk to people. When people want to hear my story, I talk. I'll say, what I have to say. I think that's one of the reasons I haven't had a problem with a lot of this PTSD and stuff like that is because I talk. I'm gonna tell people. I don't hold nothing in. It feels good for me to tell somebody. And if they want to hear my story, I'm sure
That's great,
we're
man.
going to tell
Thank
them.
you.
And
I think that's really great. I think it's a good thing to hear for people to talk.
Yes.
Talk to somebody. Not necessarily everybody, if that's not you, but talk to
That's
somebody
correct.
because you bottle it up. It will.
I
eat you
don't
up.
plan on bottling up anything. I'll tell everybody. And I think even from day one, or when I woke up, they had deputies at my door. And they come in and I tell them what happened. And, I just sitting there watching them, basically tear, all of them. And I'm just telling them, I'm already telling my story, as it happened. And,
I think that's
so
probably
I didn't
why.
bottle nothing up. And I think that's why I've been okay this whole time.
think
I'm
so,
able
too.
to
I think
smile
so.
and, and talk and move forward.
A lot of people praying for you this whole time, and I know that helped.
Yes.
And I know there still are, and I hate that it's going to be brought back up this summer, in the bad way. but I hope that there's some resolution for the community and for people
Yes.
who love you that want there to be resolution. And we'll keep praying for you on the next journey, bionic journey.
Oh yeah, you'll see it.
You're gonna be more than a man. You're gonna be more than a man.
I
You're
think
gonna
I'll be
a
the
bionic.
first, Texas police officer, with, a bionic arm.
That is huge. I can't wait for that to happen. It will happen.
It
and
will.
I can't wait for you to be a licensed peace officer, state of Texas, with a bionic arm. You're going to be in the Book of World's Records.
I don't know
They're
about
gonna
that.
deem you
but,
like RoboCop or something.
Yeah, they're
Something
gonna
like
call
that.
him. They already call him that. You know that. His buddies are all hitting him up. RoboCop.
that's correct. That was a cool movie. As I think
Yes.
about it, I was,
Like, hey, that'd be kind of cool. Shoot
probably
me.
one of the reasons I
You
wanted to
could
be
just-
a cop, to be RoboCop, and here I am,
No
35
way.
years
That
later.
inspired you?
You gotta watch. You gotta watch.
You
what
people.
do, man.
So- Without even
So
knowing.
you're inspired to be a cop by RoboCop, and then your partner, your young partner Nick Nolte's parents named him after
Nick, yeah.
after Eddie Murphy and 48 Hours.
Yeah, they say no, but I was like, he was born
Come
right at
on.
that same year.
That's right.
Not a
Yep.
coincidence.
All right. Well, we could sit here all day,
Yeah.
and I love it, but we kind of want to wrap it up. And one of the things we do when we wrap it up is we ask you if you would good gossip about somebody else, brag about somebody that you care about that's made a difference in your life. And I know there's more than one, but who do you feel on your heart to share with us?
Yeah, well, I mean, that field is just open to so many people that I could think of. Could be my wife, my brother, Nick, all these guys that were there with me, in that field, in that position. And, but, I also have to give, props to my sheriff, Mark Reynolds. I've been working with him for 30 years. He's got 1 year on me. And now, we have both kind of started off at the bottom.
That's
and now
amazing.
he's the top guy. He's the sheriff.
That's amazing.
And so we've known each other for years. The sheriff's office to him has been totally supportive of everything, all the time that I need, everything that I need, whatever I need, they're there for me. And, I know sometimes, when you get injured on the job, a lot of people don't have good experiences.
Yeah.
Things just don't happen
to our
right.
insurance company.
And for me, everything has been incredible.
That's great.
Very
That's good to
supportive.
know. That's good to
my
know.
wife loves him, so he's just a
He's
guy
part of
that,
the family.
and he really is. It goes down to where not only because he's the head guy, we've been working brothers for 30 years. So just incredible, and just an incredible man. That he had to be the one in the position to hear what had happened that day, and he knew exactly who I was and who that badge number was. So it was probably tough for him that day as well, because we've known each other for so long.
And because of the kind of guy he is, he
That's
made a
correct.
choice
He's
to
just
stand behind
great
you.
outgoing guy. Probably the friendliest person you'll ever meet. And to think that he's been a police officer for 31 years and now he's the top guy.
Yeah.
And just a guy that deserves everything that everything good that can come his way. It does, and he deserves it.
Well,
I appreciate him as well.
Good, thank you for that. Mark Reynolds,
Yeah, yeah.
Sheriff Mark Reynolds. That's an elected position, so
It is.
apparently a lot of people.
He just got reelected
Yeah, I
in the
think-
last election.
Yeah.
I don't even think he had anybody run against him. It was
No.
just, sometimes when you're that popular and that positive and that good for the community, things just
You should be there.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your time and money, I guess. And,
Yeah.
Well, we
you're the
appreciate.
person.
I know everybody in this room appreciates you and law enforcement in general. We know that there's bad apples in every field, but 99.999% of you guys are there because
That's
of your
correct.
heart.
That
and
is
you
absolutely
love,
correct.
You love your community and you want to keep me safe, and I appreciate that.
Thank
I
you.
wanna
And
just-
you go into this knowing
Yes.
that something bad could happen to you for us.
Yeah,
And so
my-
that's such a crazy mindset to have. Even when you were in the military, like there's a part of you that knows you could die for us.
Right.
And you almost did. And I'm
I
glad
did.
you didn't. Thank you.
But I didn't, and I'm here, so
Yep,
I'm good.
You're a hero.
Keeping him alive, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This was awesome. Great way to spend our morning. And
But thank you. I appreciate the invite. This is like I said, when I speak about this, it's therapy for me as
good.
well. So this
you're
is good.
You're welcome. We appreciate the opportunity to help you, and
Thank you.
We'll be there for you anytime you need us.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can find us on YouTube. We just started posting our shows to Facebook as well, and definitely iTunes and any of your favorite podcast apps. Remember to subscribe, rate us.
Share it.
Our 7 countries that are listening to us right now, thank you. And share it. Share the story. If this was an inspirational story to you, which it was to us,
Yeah.
share it with other people. This is a way that we get to share our friends and stories in a wider format than we have the opportunity to do normally with just coffee with somebody. So thanks for watching. And if you know somebody who you'd like to have on the show, please comment or send us a private message. See you later.
Thanks.
Thank you.